Oh man, you excited? This is gonna be a good one. Wait, before we start, I want to check something. Who's still on this team?
You ready? Big news. What? Whoosh. Seriously? No pigs yet. What? What was he doing? Wow. Bring him on. Beautiful.
Leafs win 4-3 in Boston. Don't play the flute with a sword! And that was a seesaw game if I ever did saw one. The game starting off, however, with the usual Leaf bad luck in Boston. Danny Payet scores in his first game back, banking the puck off Komisarik's skate. And you feel bad for Komisarik on that one. The guy's got to start eating Lucky Charms or something. But before the first period is over, Dion Phaneuf takes a shot on Tim Thomas. Rebound in the air. And Phil Kessel, who must have heard the tickets for opening day are about to go on sale, cracks it out of midair. That was like this far away from the screen. And finally scores against Boston. Sorry. And finally scores. End of sentence. Which means now he doesn't have to check in that 1,400-pound gorilla that's been on his back in with his luggage. Lost in that goal, obviously, because it was a big one for Phil Kessel. Joffrey Lupul getting the assist. His first point as a Maple Leaf. And the Leafs take that momentum with them into the second. Leafs causing all sorts of havoc in front. Thomas out of position. Char is out of position. When are you ever going to get that opportunity? Pretty much never. So Mikhail Grabowski takes advantage of it, scores 2-1 Leafs. Assist to Carl Gunnarsson, redemption for being a healthy scratch, and assist to Mike Komisarek, redemption for the goal off the skate. Eerily similar to how the Leafs did it, Boston ties the game up late in the period by batting the puck out of midair. Gregory Campbell scores it. The play was reviewed, but they ruled it a goal. Now, I didn't have a problem with that at all. It's a goal. But did anyone else notice the Bruce Buffer way the ref announced it? Like he was announcing something to the Colosseum in the Roman Empire? Upon further review, the call on the ice stands. Good goal! I almost expected Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme song to come on. The call on the ice stands, good goal, and that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so. Upon further review, what? The call on the ice stands. What? Good goal. What? I watched a lot of wrestling as a kid, but I do feel like Jerry the King Lawler should do color commentary for a hockey game just once. I just feel that in most other markets, the call would have been, after further review, the call on the ice stands, good goal. Sorry for bothering you. But at the end of 2, with the game so tight scoring-wise, with the obvious storyline of Phil Kessel, something got a little lost. That being Mikhail Grabowski being repeatedly destroyed by the Boston defense. Particularly by 6-foot infinity Zdeno Chara. To the point where after one hit by Zdeno Chara, Grabowski had a little bit of trouble getting up. Which one of you is yelling at me to go to the bench? That's never good to happen to one of your star players, especially when Boston goes up 3-2. With a rebound in front, Patrice Bergeron outworks and sneaks around Dion Phaneuf, scores 3-2. But it's the third period, not a whole lot of time left, and Boston takes a penalty. Gotta convert. And that's exactly what they do. Phil Kessel coming in, a little bit of fancy pants, dekes around, scores on Tim Thomas. His second of the game, and it's 3-3. The only way you can make that redemption cheesier is if he scored the game-winning goal in overtime with Coach Bombay on the bench. Which, by the way, I'm not one of those people that thinks Ron Wilson should be fired. However, if he is, I think he should be replaced by Emilio Estevez. And with the game winding down, 1 minute to go, Mikhail Grabowski, remember earlier in the game, that guy, from between his own hash marks, busts out with speed up against 2 Boston defensemen with Nikolai Kulemin with him. Makes a nice little between-the-legs move, and congratulations to the lucky fan in section 113, row 20, seat 9. You are the proud new owner of Dennis Seidenberg's Jock. Now with Grabowski still way off to the left, he can maybe do a little backhand deke through the legs, or he can pass it to Kulemin. Instead, he throws a nice wrister high blocker on Tim Thomas with just a minute to go. 4-3 Leafs. I had a coffee before this video. And with Phil Kessel scoring against Boston, Mikhail Grabowski scoring despite the whatever happened to his head, Joffrey Lupul getting his first points as a Leaf, it's easy to forget James Reimer. But he makes some huge saves in the last 30 seconds, stops 32 of 35 shots, and the Leafs win this one 4-3. And did you notice I went the entire video without talking about a Thomas Caberlet trade rumor? Dude, oh, son of a... Well, might as well talk about it now. The hot rumor heading into this game, Thomas Caberlet supposedly being traded to Boston, maybe, kind of, sort of. But just the other day, I was on the Christopher Stieg media conference call, my first ever NHL media conference call. It was an honor. But Brian Burke said that he did not want to concede a playoff spot. And I see that being pretty difficult without Thomas Caberlet. Do I think there have been lots of talks about Thomas Caberlet? Sure, he's one of the Leafs' biggest assets. But how do you expect to trade a guy of that talent level and get return that will help you now? So there's a huge question. It's not the question of the game, but go ahead and answer it. What do you think is going to happen in this whole Caberlet situation? Because there was a time where I wanted the Leafs to just trade Caberlet, get rid of him. Right now, I say keep him. But then there's a big question of will he resign, and I'm of the opinion that he will. What say you? In question of the game, Phil Kessel has been known to score in bunches this season. Do you think this is the start of one of those bunches? Playing their second games in as many nights and in Buffalo? That'd be pretty sweet. Oh, and a win. Pick up one of those too. One last thing before we go. Links in the underbar. Myself and good friend Justin Fisher have put together a list of who to follow on Twitter. By now, chances are you know the big network guys, the guys who will break trades and stuff like that. But our list, for the most part, largely consists of beat writers, guys that you wouldn't know about unless you lived in their city. Along with the scouts that we've put on this list as well, we have some scouts. They can give you insight onto players that may have just been traded to your team. We also included agents on that list who have been known to break trades in the past, and a whole other list of players who sometimes break their own news. So check those links out. Add me on leafspace.com, add me as a friend, or like my page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, and I will see you very soon. Leafs play 2 games in 2 nights. After his caffeine high wears off, you spaz.